Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to be talking about the poem by Niyi Osundare. It's a collection of poems, and I will be talking about, I will be reviewing some of the poems in this collection. Okay, the collection is called The High of the Earth. The High of the Earth. And some of the poems that that Niyi Osundare wrote in this collection, I am going to be examining them, and I want you to patiently watch till the end. So I'm going to be looking or reviewing the high of the earth. The high of the earth, and I'm going to be reviewing Harvest Call. Yeah, I'm trying to list out the poems I will be reviewing in this collection. I'll be reviewing The High of the Earth, Harvest Call, The Rock Rose to Meet Me, Let Earth Pain Me Suit, Rain Coming, and They Too Are the Earth. So I will be reviewing those poems. It's going to be brief, and it's going to be simple, and it's going to be clear. So if you need to jot things down, you can just get your jotter and jot things down. And if you have any questions, you can use the comment section and drop your questions. And please do it to give me a thumbs up if you found the video very useful. So let's get right into it. I'll be starting with Harvest Call. Harvest Call. So the poem, is the poem title is Harvest Call. Now, from the name Harvest Call, what does Harvest Call mean to you? Let's just break it down. Like I said, I want to make it as simple as possible. So let's just break it down. And what I'll be doing is I'll just be picking few lines from the poem. I believe you have the poem, but for this video, I don't want it to be too long, so I'm just going to be picking few lines from the poem just to make it simple so that you have an idea of what the poem is telling you, is talking about, and that will help you to understand all the lines of the poem. Okay, so what does harvest call mean? Now, when you hear the word harvest is the time when farmers gather crops, right? They gather crops during harvest, like yams, like maize or rice from their farm. That is harvest. Now, when you say call, it means to invite or you summon someone. Yeah, you're calling someone, you're inviting someone. So now let's put this together. Harvest call is like a special invitation or song to call the harvest. Do you understand? So it's just like you are asking the land to bless the people with plenty of food. Do you get? Harvest call. Harvest is when farmer gathers crops. Now they can't harvest if the land has not yielded fruit, right? So when the poem says harvest call, so you are saying that it's time for us to harvest. Land should like bring out food, bless the people with plenty of food, right? It's like you're calling it, like, let harvest time comes, let it come. I hope you understand that. So it's like a special invitation or a song to call the harvest. Okay, now what is the big idea? Let's understand the big idea. What is this poem about? So the poem is like a prayer to nature. The nature here is land, right? A prayer, like you are praying to land. Imagine land is human. You are praying to land. You are chanting to land. So the poem is a prayer to nature, asking the land to wake up and bless the people with a good harvest. Do you understand? So now, in many African villages, people believe that land and nature, they have spiritual powers. You get? So they sing to them, they pray to them, you know, especially before harvest, so that they can bring plenty. So they believe that land, nature, they have spiritual powers. You hear when they say the power in the tree, right? So in this time around, they are looking at, oh, land has power. They are begging land, like, let's say, like God of the land, please bring plenty. They are planted seed, they want it to grow. They want to be able to harvest so much, right? So we can say that this poem is filled with respect for nature, especially the rock. Niyi Osundare mentioned the name of the rock. I might not pronounce it well, but there is a rock called Olosunta. Olosunta. So the poem is filled with respect for nature, right? Like, is respecting the rock. Olosunta was making him feel like this rock is human, right? So we can say that the poem is filled with respect for nature. I mean, for you to be praying to land to yield harvest, that means you're respecting the land. You only pray to someone that is superior to you. So that's why I said the poem is filled with respect for nature. Then the poem is also filled with hope for fruitfulness. It is filled with hope for fruitfulness. What do I mean? They are praying for plenty food. They are hoping that as they prayed on the land, it will yield plenty food, it will yield blessings. So it's filled with hope for fruitfulness. Then another thing is this poem is filled with a call for help. A call for help, you know, and also a call for togetherness. Let's come together. Let's gather this harvest. Okay? Now, I said I'm going to pick few lines of the poem. So I'm going to pick this line. So there's a line. If you have your poem with you, you can just check where it says, "Rock of my race, rise from the sleep. Rock of my race, rise from sleep. Your children call with empty hands. Our barns lie hollow, our yams still unborn." Let me take that again. It says, "Rock of my race, rise from sleep. Your children call with empty hands. Our barns lie hollow, our yams still unborn." Now, let's talk about what's the meaning of this line. So if you can understand my explanation of this line, you can take that to other lines and you'll be able to interpret it properly. So here, the speaker is talking to the rock like a wise. Say, "Rock of my race, rise from sleep." So the rock should rise up from sleep. So he's trying to make the rock look like maybe a sleeping human, a sleeping grandfather, you know. So he's saying, please wake up and help us. Look at where it says, "Your children call with empty hands." Imagine children kneeling down and stretching forth empty hands. So he's saying, please wake up and help us. We don't have food. That's why he says, "Our barns lie hollow, our yam still unborn." That means the yam has not yet started bringing harvest, right? So he said the barns lie hollow. That means the barns, barns mean the food storehouses. They are empty. Yeah, the food storehouses are empty. So the yams haven't grown yet. People are hungry. That's why their children are calling with empty hands. So he's saying the rock should rise from sleep and help us. You get? Help us. We don't have food. So with this explanation that I gave to you now, this should help you understand properly what the poem is all about. That it's just a prayer to nature. That please wake up and bless the people with a good harvest. Okay, now let's look at some of the poetic devices, you know, a few simple ones that you can easily remember in case you're writing an exam on this. Okay, now we can talk about personification. Personification, what does personification mean? It means giving nature human actions. You are giving nature human actions. Example, in this poem, you know, it says, "Rock, rise from sleep." Rock, rise from sleep. That's giving nature human actions, because only humans sleep. I know that you might think about, okay, what about animals? Animals sleep, you know. But it says, rock, rise from sleep. So rocks don't sleep. Rocks don't sleep. But in this poem, it feels like the rock is alive, is human, that sleeps and wakes up. So it's saying rock rise from sleep. So you can talk about personification. Then we have imagery. Imagery. What does imagery mean? It means describing with senses. Describing with senses. So there's a part in the poem where it says, empty hands, hollow bands. Empty hands, hollow bands. You know, when you say empty hands, you are imagining children. That was what I imagined. Children kneeling down and stretching up their hand, looking hungry. So imagery, like describing with sense, you can picture the hunger. You can picture that they don't have anything to eat. There's nothing in the store. That's what it says, empty hands, hollow band. So you can mention imagery, you know, and when you mention that, explain what it means, describing with senses. An example in the poem, empty hands, hollow bands, picturing the hunger that the people were feeling. Then we also have repetition. Repetition, that's repeating for effect. Repeating for effect. So you say, come, oh come, come, oh come. That's repetition. Come, oh come. You know, it shows urgency, like someone begging. We are begging you, please come now. So that's repetition. And also we have allusion. Allusion. When you're talking about allusion, allusion is when there is a hidden cultural meaning. You know, when there's a hidden cultural meaning. You know, for example, in the poem, he mentioned Olosunta Oroole. That might not be the right pronunciation in Yoruba, okay? But there is Olosunta, there's Oroole. So these names, they are sacred rocks in Ekiti. So it's alluding those rocks, you get. That's why I said a hidden cultural meaning. That's what allusion means. So there is more to it. So we have sacred rocks in Ekiti. That's the poet's hometown. So there's an important symbol. I mean, these rocks like symbolizes strength, symbolizes blessing, you know. So what can we say is the message of this poem? This poem is not just about farming, you know. This poem teaches us respect for nature. That so that when they are telling you what is the message of the poem, one of the messages, one of the messages in this poem is that we have to respect nature. Nature listens if we care for it. And also there is the part of cultural identity. That's another message of the poem, cultural identity, that we must remember the power of our land and traditions. We must remember the power of our land and traditions. Then we have hope and unity. Hope and unity. People are calling out together for help. You know, they are calling out together for help when things are hard. They are not suffering alone. Children are begging, they are chanting with empty hands. So they are coming together to cry for help. They don't suffer alone. I hope you understand. So this poem is not just about family. There are deeper meaning, there are deeper messages in this poem. Respecting nature, understanding your cultural identity, you know, and then the power of, you know, coming together, hope and unity. So harvest call is a prayer to the land, especially the powerful rocks of the poet's village. You know, people are hungry and they want the land to bless them with food. So the poem shows how deeply African people respect nature. You know, it reminds us that nature is not just land. Nature is like a friend, like a parent, or even a small god that listens when we call. So that's that about this poem Harvest Call. If you have any question, please do drop your questions, and I will definitely answer your question. So the next poem I want to talk about would be that I want to review will be what's the name of this poem again? Let me check my list of poems. The Rocks Rose to Meet Me. The Rocks Rose to Meet Me. So that will be in the next video. Please check the next video for this. Please subscribe to my channel, and please on your notifications so you will know when I drop the next video. Thank you. Bye.